Hello everyone, welcome to It's Crochet O'Clock. My name is Stephanie and today I am working with Pippin Poppycock to bring you the Arizona Crochet Along. If you haven't read the introduction or don't know anything about the Crochet Along, I'm going to leave the website down below in the description box for you to go and read it. It will also direct you to their Facebook group where you can get the pattern each week. I believe it's going to be released each Friday until its completion. This blanket was designed with the Navajo Nation in mind from their various designs and historical blankets that they have created. So for this, I have chosen traditional Navajo colors with the exception of one, because one of their national colors is black and that does not film well. But we are using Stylecraft Special double knit yarn, and my first color is white, my second color is lemon, my third color is citron, my fourth color is, if it's right side up, saffron, and my last color for the gradient portion is sunshine. Now they designed this to work in a gradient pattern, but you can choose any colors you would like. My shadow color is copper. This is the one that I substituted for black. And then my pop of color is turquoise. Other tools that you are going to need is a crochet hook. Obviously, whatever size it is that you prefer. I am using a 4.5 millimeter Clover soft touch hook. You're going to need scissors. You will need a darning needle, and then you are going to need stitch markers or some other method to hold your work together. And you will see that come about round 6-ish, but we'll get into that. You ready to have some fun? Let's have some fun. To begin round 1, we are going to make a magic loop. Now I am a fan of double magic loops, so wrap your yarn. To do that, you around 3 times. I need a little bit more. You see, 3 times. We're going to insert our hook underneath the first 2, grab that first loop, and then I spin around on the back side, yarn over right there, and pull under. At that point you can let it go. You just got to be very careful because it's finicky. And we are going to chain 2. And that's going to count as our first double crochet. Now we are going to double crochet 2 more times into this loop. It's going to take a little bit to get used to if you're not used to working with magic circles. But you can just go slow. It's not a race. Okay. 2 double crochets. Now we're going to chain twice. And then place 3 double crochets in the ring. There's 2. Now we need 1 more. We're going to chain 2 once again. 3 more double crochets. Chain 2, 3 more double crochets, And now you can see that we have 4 sets of double crochets. So we are going to chain 2 one last time, and then we are going to close our circle. And the way I do this for the double, as you see here, there's 2 threads. You're just going to pull gently on one so you can see which one is moving. Okay, and it's this back one. So we will pull up here to close the other loop first. Just gives it a little bit more stability. See how it's making it nice and tight? If you're not comfortable with magic circles, you could absolutely do a chain 2. And then we will just pull on that. Makes it nice and tight. Reinsert your hook. Not there. And then we will slip stitch into the top of that chain 2 space. And that completes round 1. All right, Pippin does not specify how you should join your next color, so I like to join with standing stitches. So to do that, create a slip knot, and she says to join in a corner. So I am going to find a corner here, and because our first stitch is a double crochet, I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook, grab the yarn, and make sure I grab this tail from behind and hold that secure. I'll have 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now I need 1 more double crochet, and I like to work over my ends, so I'm going to take care to keep that back there. So there's 2 double crochets in the corner. We will chain 2 and then add 2 more double crochets in that same corner space. There's 1, and 2. And now we are going to place 3 double crochets in the tops of these double crochets, and you might have to scoot this corner over a little bit to get to the first one. So there's 1. Here's the top of the second one. And here's the top of the third. And now we need 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets in the corner. We've gotten one side done. So now we need 3 double crochets in the top of these 3 double crochets. And there's 1. Two. Now we need 2 more double crochets, 2 chain 2s, 2 double crochets in this corner space. There's 1, 2 double crochet, chain 2, one double crochet, and 2 double crochet. And again, we're going to place 3 double crochet in the tops of these stitches. There's 1, there's 2, and this is the 3rd. And again, in this corner space, we are going to do 2 double crochets, 2 chain 2s, or no, chain 2, not 2 chain 2s, and then 2 double crochets, just like we've done in the others. There's 1 double crochet, and 2, chain 2, one double crochet, 2 double crochet. And this one can get a little bit tricky, but we've just got to put 3 more double crochets in the tops of these. There's 1, and there's 2, and then the 3rd one. I like to crochet over my ends, so that little end there is poking out, but I'll snip that off. Now to finish off this, just like we did the others, if you're doing standing stitches, you'll be able to see it very neatly. If you started with a chain going up, then you will slip stitch into the top of the chain. And there you go. There is round 2 completed. Now it's time to change colors to color 3. On to round 3. I'm going to start the same way that I did before with a standing double crochet. If that's not how you change color, that's fine. However it is that you would like to change color. And again, we are going to be starting in a corner space. So I will yarn over, because I'm starting with a double crochet stitch, insert, grab that yarn, pull it up, hold on to that tail. That's my first double crochet. Now I'm going to work my second, and now I will chain 2, 2 more double crochet, and now I am going to work a double crochet in the top of all of these stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Something that I want to tell you, if you happen to get lost, just remember that each row we are adding 2 stitches on either side. So this is 7 stitches. When we get finished, we should have 11 total stitches on this side, counting the 2 extra stitches on each side. So we are going to double crochet in the top of each of these 7 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we're to a corner space, so that means 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, there's 1 double crochet, chain 2, one double crochet, and 2 double crochet. From here on out, you just continue to follow the pattern all the way around and fasten off like I've shown you before. For round 4, we are moving on to our 4th color, and again it starts just like the other ones. So I am going to do a standing double crochet in the corner, yarn over, insert, pull up, hunt for my tail, there it is, hold that down, pull through 2, pull through 2, then we are going to work another double crochet, chain 2, 2 more double crochets in that same spot, and that's our corner. Now we are going to work double crochets across every single stitch, and remember, I crochet over my work, but if you want to weave them in, it's completely up to you. I just find that this works better for me. I'm not a fan of weaving in, so if I can crochet over them and save myself some time and some aggravation, I will do so. Almost done. Well, we're about halfway. Very, very close. And remember, if you're questioning if you've gotten every stitch, you can always count them. And however many stitches you had on the previous row, you will have 4 more. Now we're to another corner. Need to crochet 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Oop. But you don't want to do that. There we go. All right, so there's your first side for round 4. Going to do the same thing all the way around and fasten off like we've done before, and then we will move on to round 5. All right, now we are on to our 5th color, and again it starts just like the rest of them. So I am going to do a standing double crochet in a corner. So I will yarn over, insert my hook, grab the yarn, pull it up, grab that tail, and there's my first double crochet. There is my second. Chain 2, 2 more double crochet, and now we are going to double crochet 15. That's how many you should have at this point. And the 15 stitches. There's 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. Whoop. I was getting a little overzealous there. A little more than halfway. And don't forget to count your stitches on either side, because it's a lot easier to frog 10 stitches than it is to frog 30, because you realize that you dropped a stitch. And we're going to be working over all of these, so it's important that your stitch count is correct. Almost there. This is a good opportunity to show you. Remember, we close with a slip stitch. Don't crochet into that stitch. You're going to crochet into the actual stitch. That one can get you, and you can end up having too many double crochet. Now we're at a corner. Double crochet twice, chain 2, double crochet twice, as we have previously. There's my 2 double crochet, chain twice, and 1 double crochet, and 2. And just like all the others, work it all the way around the other 3 sides and fasten off. And I will meet you back here for preparation for continuing. Okay, so we have finished our square. Now you get to make 7 more. But I wanted to share some tips and tricks with you. The first one being, this is the back side of my work. This is the tail from the magic circle. And a lot of videos or people will tell you that it's completely safe to just cut off right there. I would not advise that, because what's going to happen is the more you tug and the more you pull and you turn your work, it's going to tug and it's going to pull this completely apart, and then it's going to unravel. So I absolutely suggest using a darning needle and going around and around and around and around your work, and then tying off. You can see where I've made a little tiny knot right there, and I have woven that in about a bazillion times as much as I possibly could to ensure that these centers are not going to come out on us. Now, if you like to weave in ends, that's absolutely fine, but another trick that I have for you is I like to weave my ends into the top of my stitches if I know that I'm going to be working over them. And we are going to be working over all 4 sides of these squares. So if you want to do that, you should feel comfortable doing that, because we're just the slip stitch and tying off like you normally would, and then weaving in the ends up top, we're going to work right over them. Now, if you don't feel comfortable doing that and you want to weave them all in and cross stitch them back and forth, you absolutely can do that. So now you're going to make 7 more squares for a total of 8, and then you will tie off your centers, and then you are going to need your stitch markers. And the reason that you need stitch markers or something similar is because we need to take these squares and fasten them together so they will hold while we begin our next round. So to do this, you go corner to corner, and what I do is I just put them back to back for this one. Make sure that I'm not going to have any issues. And then through the corner of that one and through the corner of that one. And then it's just going to attach them. Now for the next one, I would put it front to front, because we're going to be working on this one, and we want them all facing the proper side. So through the corner, and then through the corner here, fasten them off. And there you go. That's just going to help make it easier for us to work the next rounds. If you don't have stitch markers, you could use, I've seen people use paper clips. You could take pieces of yarn and you could tie them off. Anything that you need to make sure that you can hold these all safe. So pause the video once you get finished with all of this. We can meet back and we can begin the next stage. Welcome back. I have attached all of my squares together to make the process a lot easier for us. And this is row 1 of the second part of our first part. Did that make any sense? For this. Now for this we are using color 6 in the pattern. It's called charcoal. Mine is copper. And we are going to join in the first double crochet after the corner space. So we're going to go for this space right here. We're going to insert our hook, pull our yarn through, and then we are going to chain 2, and then we are going to double crochet in this next space. And this counts as a double crochet 2 together for this pattern. Now we are going to work 17 double crochets. We are working up the peak. These are peaks and these are valleys. If you're trying to learn how to read patterns and you're working along with me for that purpose, that is what that is referring to. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Now we're going to work the peak space, and for the peak space we are going to double crochet 2, chain 2, and then double crochet again. So there's 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, chain 2. Now we need 2 more double crochets. There's 1, and then 2. So now we are going to double crochet in the next 17 stitches. Get some yarn out here, we can get to trucking on. Working towards the valley. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Now we are going to work the valley. Just pull out some more yarn. We are going to double crochet 6 together. And this is going to be a little bit tricky until you get used to it, but you hold the work however it is that you need to hold it to get it to work for you, because we are going to work in this stitch. That's 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6. So to start a double crochet together, we are going to yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over, pull up 1, pull through, and then stop there. Yarn over, go into the next space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and stop there. Yarn over, insert into the corner space, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, stop. Yarn over, insert in, and this is where it's going to get tricky, insert into that corner space, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go into the next space, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, this is our last one, insert, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2. Now when you get finished with this, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 loops total on your hook. And if it helps you to squeeze them all together for this next part, so we are going to yarn over and pull through all of them. And that's what that looks like. It's going to be a bit tricky, but it'll be okay. You will get it, just take your time. Now we're going to double crochet in the next 17 stitches. We'll work a peak, just like I showed you over here. And then you will work down, just like we did, and then work another double crochet 6 together. And you will repeat that all the way to the end, and I will meet you there. Welcome back. I have worked all the way to the end, and I am just loving how this copper is looking with this. Copper's my favorite Stylecraft color. So now we have 2 stitches left. We have worked double crochets, 17 of them after working our last peak, and now we need to work 2 double crochet together to complete this row. So to do that, you yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook into the next space, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, then we will yarn over and pull through all of them. And now you just want to fasten off your work. There we go. That is the end of the first row. And now we can move on to row 2. Now it is time for round 2, and we have another color change coming. This is color number 7. If you're working along with the pattern, that would be lipstick is what it is listed as. Mine is turquoise. To figure out where to start, remember this was our chain that we started, and then this was our first double crochet, but it counted as a double crochet 2 together. So we are going to insert our hook right there at the top of it. And we are going to add our new color here. Let's get that hooked on there, and then we will chain. Let me pull this tail a little bit tighter. There we go. And remember, this doesn't count as a stitch whenever you're fastening your work like this. So we will chain 1, and then we are going to single crochet into the next stitch, and this is going to count as a single crochet 2 together. Now we are going to single crochet in the next 18 stitches, which is fairly simple and easy to do. Let's work this along all the way up to the peak. Remember, I crochet over that tail from joining, so please don't let that confuse you. I'm just not a fan of tying in ends. In fact, I don't know anybody who is a fan of tying in ends, and I just like to make sure that everything is doubly secured so I don't have to worry about it. A little over halfway, almost. Oop. Tail towards the end likes to jump around. Almost. Well, one more. All right, now we are at the peak. So now, where we have always worked double crochets and then chain 2 and then 2 double crochets, for this round it's going to be 2 single crochets. So single crochet, single crochet, chain 2, and then two single crochets, and that completes our corner. Now you are going to work all the way down, working single crochet stitches. You'll work 39 single crochets and then get yourself back up to a peak. 39 single crochets, peak, all the way back to the end, and I will meet you there. I have worked my single crochets all the way down to the end, and right here we have 2 stitches left, and this last one is going to be a little bit hard to see because we have these 2 double crochets together, but if you pull open your work just a little bit, you'll see the spaces that we're going to go into. We're going to work 2 single crochets together. So we will insert our hook, yarn over and pull up, and then we will insert our hook one more time, yarn over, pull up, then yarn over and pull through all 3. And that is 2 single crochet together. So now we will fasten off our work. Cut off the end there. And we are going to move on to row 3. All right, so for row 3, we are going to be working on the wrong side of our work. And this is going to be our first row of really, really good texture. We're going to work a lot of bobbles. So to begin, this first stitch is going to be a little bit hard to recognize. One, because it was a two single crochets together, and then we also fastened off on it. So it's a little bit tricky, but just take your time. There's the stitch right there. And I am going to fasten on my yarn. Okay, my yarn is fastened. We are going to chain 1, and then we will single crochet in the next space. And that counts as a single crochet, 2 single crochets together. And now we are going to work a bobble in this next stitch. So to work a bobble, you yarn over, insert your hook into the space, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert back into that same space, yarn over, pull up, pull through 2. So that's 2. We need to do this 3 more times. Yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, that's 3, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through 2, that's 4, yarn over, insert, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2. Okie dokie, so you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loops on your hook. And now you are going to yarn over and pull through all of them. Now it looks like a cluster stitch right now, but that's because we haven't fastened it down. We're going to single crochet in the next 2 spaces. That's going to push that work out and create the bobble without losing your hook. So there was 1 single crochet. Oop, where's my tail? And there are 2 single crochets. See? Makes it poke out. So now we are going to work another bobble. We're going to work 5 more bobbles and 5 more single crochet, or 2 single crochets between them. So yarn over. There's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Pull through all of them. Then we will single crochet in the next 2 stitches. You're going to do this 4 more times. You're going to do a bobble and then 2 single crochets, bobble, single crochet, and I will meet you up here at the peak. Okay, I have worked all the way up to the peak. By now, if you flip over your work and you look at it, you should have 6 bobbles there. And now we are going to work straight into this peak space, a bobble. So we will yarn over. There's one pass through, 2, 3, 4, I split my yarn, 4, and then 5, yarn over, pull through all of them, and now we are going to fasten it down with a single crochet in the very next stitch. And now you are going to repeat all the way down to the valley. We're going to put a bobble here, 2 single crochets, bobble, 2 single crochets. It will end up making 6 bobbles, and I will meet you down here at the valley. Okay, I have just completed my 6th bobble on that side, and now where we would normally place 2 single crochets, we need to place 2 single crochets together. So we're going to insert our hook and then insert our hook again, 3 loops on our hook, pull through all of them. We are going to skip this space right here. This is the top of the valley, or the bottom of the valley. So we're going to skip that space and we're going to go into this space and work another single crochet 2 together here. And then in this next space we will work a bobble, and then 2 single crochets, and then a bobble and 2 single crochets all the way back up to the peak, and we will continue repeating that all the way down to the end, and I will meet you there. Okay, I have gotten to the end of row 3. This is a point, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bobbles, and now we need to finish off this row. Now remember this last stitch in the row previous, it was to count as 2 single crochets together, so this is actually 1 stitch. Now we're going to do 2 single crochets together to complete this row. So we're just going to insert, yarn over and pull up, and then insert here, yarn over, pull up, and then pull through all 3. And then we will just fasten off. And there we go. That is completion of row 3. 1 more row left and we will be finished with this round. All right, so starting on the 4th row, we're going to work on the right side of our work, and we're going to work all the way across here. And this is going to be in the 6th color. If you're reading along on the pattern, then that is charcoal. For me, it is copper. So here we are going to start in the top of the bobble, and you can tell these because these are the long stitches. Bobbles leave long stitches. Then we have 2 short stitches for the single crochets in between. So we are going to tie on here. Remember, this does not count as a stitch. And then we are going to chain 2. And that counts as our first double crochet. Now we are going to put 2 double crochets in these single crochet portions. We're going to make a total of 17 proper double crochets. So there's the first one, and there's 2, then the long stitch, 3, short, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17 hidden back here. Now for the peak, we are going to work in the top, and just as we did down here on these previous rows, it will be 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Make sure you get it into the top stitch of that bobble. There's 1, 2, chain 2, there's 1 double crochet, and 2 double crochet. Now from here on out, what you're going to do is you are going to double crochet in the next 18 stitches, and your last double crochet should land right here in this top bobble, and then I will show you how to work the peak. So I'll meet you back in just a few moments. All right, I have gotten all the way down to the center of the valley. This is what it looks like, and my last stitch was in the top of the bobble. These were the 2 single crochet togethers in the valley that we made, and for this one we are just going to skip right over it. So we're going to skip over those and go directly into the top of this bobble and work our double crochet. So for the rest of the pattern, you would just repeat everything that we have done here all the way to the end, work all the way up here, then do your corner, the 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, work all the way down to the last bobble, skip over the 2 single crochet 2 togethers, and then begin again in the bobble. You will work this all the way down to the end, and I will meet you there. All right, I have gotten all the way down here to the end, and for this round we are going to finish in the top of this bobble with 1 last double crochet. Then we are going to finish off fasten off that end. And that is round 4, completing the first part of the Arizona. Well, half of it anyways, because now you have to repeat everything that we've done here on this side, and then you will be finished. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week.